President Trump is trying to position himself as a populist. He just did something today on his own, which is probably a mistake, but it sounds great. President Trump signed an executive order that could bring drug prices down by up to 90%. Why? Let's listen to the president.
A friend of mine who's a businessman, very top guy. Most of you would have heard of him. A highly neurotic, brilliant businessman, seriously overweight, and he takes the fat shot drug. And he called me up and said, "President, could I ask you a question?" "What?" "I'm in London, and I just paid for this damn fat drug I take." I said, "It's not working." He said, "I just paid $88. And in New York, I pay $1,300. What the hell is going on?"
Two things. One, if that's the way he talks about his friends, no wonder he's so rough on his enemies. But we pay more for drugs here, okay? Now, so why isn't this just a home run idea? Because he tried it in his first term and it got hung up in litigation. And the drug companies hate it as a price-fixing rule, and they have more power than everybody else, okay? So it sounds great, but I think the only chance that anything like this gets done for real is if Congress gets involved. So what a gift I have for you tonight. You want to talk about this Medicaid plan? You want to talk about drug prices? You want to talk about what motivates Republicans? I got the perfect guy. Former Speaker of the House, Republican Kevin McCarthy. It's good to see you. You look great.
Well, thank you.
You get out of office for a couple of years and you're like 20 years younger all of a sudden.
I've only been out of about a year and 5 months, maybe.
It's been good to you. So let's look at these two things. Do you believe the president can do the drug price fix that is necessary? I'm assuming we both agree it's necessary, on his own. Or do the brothers and sisters in Congress need to take the signal and pick up the mantle?
Well, I think if you want anything to sustain itself, remember, executive order can only last as long as a president. I imagine this will go to court. I'm not an attorney. But if you want something to last, pass a law. I mean, you got the Article 1 powers here. And really, I think the Congress would have to act to make it stay in law, to make it happen. You got to do the rulemaking. It's going to go through court. It's going to take time.
So why haven't they done it? Everybody in every campaign complains about drug prices, and you know the argument from the other side, right? The drug companies say, "Oh, no, it's not us. It's that these other countries with their middlemen and stuff, they don't pay their fair share. So it's really they're doing the wrong thing, not us." What's the reality?
You got a number of arguments on both sides, right? You got for the money goes into research and development, but then why do these foreign countries get a benefit with America paying more? You've got the middleman getting the discount, not the individual actually buying the drug. The president talked about that, too. That's another provision he can do something with. I think the whole system needs to actually be looked at and not make it partisan from one side to the other, because whenever one side proposes something, now listen, Democrats had thought about this for quite some time. But when the president proposed it, the only one who actually praised him was Bernie Sanders. The others kind of attacked him. You got to start looking at policy and make the policy win at the end of the day. And it's hard to make policy just through executive order, but maybe it could go in effect through executive order, give Congress the ability to see how it works, and then craft legislation that may be able to hone it to be better and make it sustain itself in a longer term.
Well, with Medicare Part B, you have under the Biden administration that was at Bernie's urging, that did something.
Yeah, this is Medicare Part B. This isn't dealing with Medicare Part D, but this is actually putting pressure on other countries as well, though. that these drug companies could really say, no, I can't sell it at that lower rate because then America and everybody in the world is going to have that. The president also made a point, too. There could be some special circumstances in certain countries that are so poor and need a drug that we wouldn't base it based upon that price either.
What do you think of the Medicaid plan and the political optics of it, given how many people, you're California, how many people in Medicaid are Republican voters in California, but also in the southern ruby red states?
Okay. But you have to understand, there's a couple points I thought. You made an excellent case, but I think there's a couple things you left out. You said it's just a work requirement. It's just a work requirement. That's really not the case here. It is a work requirement, but it's for able-bodied with no dependents, okay? So the children are not going to be affected. Somebody who is older is not going to be affected. And what you find is this isn't something that someone just drummed up. This isn't something that just Republicans have looked at. Remember, this was really driven back when Bill Clinton was president and they were looking at welfare reform. The Republicans then did pass it, and Bill Clinton vetoed it 2, maybe 3 times, till he finally agreed, and the Democrats really gave him a big problem. Well, the end result, we found a lot of people got off welfare because they found jobs. It was actually something that helped individuals. And this isn't something so new that Democrats would vote no. When I was Speaker, we applied this in welfare reform again under the debt ceiling bill. And 2/3 of the body of Republicans and Democrats, every Democrat in the House, voted for it. Because you want to look at the end result. If somebody is able-bodied with no dependents and is on Medicaid, if they got a job and they got an improvement in a job, they may have different health insurance and not be on there. It would improve their life as well. So if you were very sick, and remember how Medicaid first started, okay? It was for the pregnant, the blind, and disabled. And what they have is called an FMAP, where the states pay a certain percentage in the federal government. And it's all crafted different with each state, but it's like a 50-50. But an Obamacare came on and said the federal government would pay 95%. You didn't have to be blind or disabled. You could actually make more money. And then the feds would pay 95, and then at the very end pay 90. But those who are just blind, pregnant, or disabled, still we only pay 50%. And then you've got the CBO numbers that's saying this trust fund will go broke, insolvent, in 8 years. So if you ignore the problem and you propose nothing, you're never going to fix it. So I think the best place to start is you have a history of it actually helping people who is on a government program to find a job, a better job, and improve themselves. So if it's worked in the past, what if we apply it here, find places that we improved it? If Sarah Huckabee is doing an improvement, add that into the mix, but this is only for an able-bodied person and no dependents at home. So if you have a dependent, no, you don't have to do it.
I get it.
And
but I'm just saying that's a really small number, Kev.
Yeah, it is a small number, but it's a beginning. And what you're going to do is get these people back into the workforce. It makes our economy stronger, but it actually improves their life. And this is something that's been bipartisan and proven to work in other programs. And you've got a program about to go insolvent, so you've got to start thinking of some other ways to make it work better.
I'm with you, and I appreciate the explanation, and I would love to have you back on a regular basis if you're getting, if you want to get your analyst chops out there. I'd love to have you on the show on a regular basis to talk about these things and what's happening with your party.
I'd love to do it. Well, what's happening with my party, we are now have the White House, the Senate, and the House, and now we're making sure that people are going to have a more stable economy. We're making sure that the trade, which is for decades haven't been going to reciprocal into these other countries. And I think at the end of the day, this country is going to be stronger for it.
So you like what the president's doing right now with the tariffs? You're not worried about the strain on small businesses or on the price structure in terms of, you know, if you get better deals, great, but the price of getting the higher deals, you're not worried about it?
Look, I'm always worried, but you'd only be worried if it's going to sustain itself all the way. And if you know President Trump, if he says it's going to be a 10% tariff, that's going to go into effect. If he says 25, what he's really telling you, he wants to negotiate. And it's always a negotiation. And one thing about President Trump is he doesn't believe he gets the best deal until he takes it to that very point. And seriously, if we're looking at China, we're too dependent on China. Think about it. During COVID, they control 50% of our medical supply. They control 90% of the critical minerals, 95% of the processing. So there's no way is that going to be smooth. But if we sat back and was nice, it would just continue and fentanyl would come in. Trump is a disruptor, so he's starting the process that needed to take place. But if you've ever read Graham Allison's book, Destined for War, all right? In the history of the world, 16 times, the second power has always surpassed the number one. Only 4 times they didn't go to war. And if you take those measurements, one becomes independency. And if you look at from our allies, this all hinges from what happened after World War II. America came out stronger, so we took more of the brunt, that you could send your products to America, and you can close your industries off to us. But even though we have trade agreements like South Korea, and in that trade agreement we're supposed to be able to send our potatoes to sell at their McDonald's, they still deny us. So there's a point in time that you can't be Mr. Nice Guy. And I think that's why the voters voted the way they did, that Trump can be a disruptor to kind of change the course. Will it cause some upsets? Yes. But in the long term, will our children be stronger? Will the country be stronger? I believe the case is yes.
Depends on the deals. Depends on the deals. Kevin, I appreciate you making the case.
It does, 100%. Okay.
Do you miss being in?
Look, I miss some of the people I loved every day, from the first day I was in to the day I was started, but I wouldn't change one item. If you looked why I was removed, it's because somebody slept with an underage woman and wanted me to stop an ethics report, and I wouldn't do it. I have my ethics, and I'm able to sustain that, and it's the best for the country.
Kevin McCarthy, appreciate it. Matt Gaetz is who he's talking about there. I'll see you again here soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.